Hello everyone and welcome to Infused Transitions. I am so glad that you are here. For those of you who are new, if you're wanting to know more about how I read and information about me, you can find that information in the description box below. For those of you who are returning, thank you guys so much for being a part of this community, for continuing to come back. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And for those of you who give me those thumbs up, I really appreciate you guys, because it gives me the encouragement to continue to put messages here on YouTube in this space. So anyways, without further ado, guys, we are going to get going. These are the decks that I was guided to pull for today. We have the Ascended Masters, Angel Answers, and Goddess Power Oracles. We're going to see what happens. Right, those right there. All decks are shuffled before I put them away. They're all shuffled when I take them out off camera, and I do like to shuffle on camera just so that you guys can see that yes, they have been shuffled. Always take only what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, let's dive in. All right. What messages would you like for us to hear about for today? Sometimes you just got to be patient. Thank you. And wait for the messages to come forward. On the bottom of the deck, we have Isis with rebirth. Isis with rebirth. Okay. And the one who came out, we have Danu, assurance. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, so, don't shoot the messenger if I've said it incorrectly. Assurance. We can see here in her hand, she has a plant growing, and it is in this orb of light. And I would say that's an orb of protection. So something may be being birthed, which makes sense. Which makes sense why we have Isis here on the bottom of the deck with rebirthing. And they both are... Isis is like this with her hands. I can't really do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like this, only this way. And she has the one in her hand, and she's, like this. So the assurance one is about the birthing of whatever this is. So it is beyond the seed. It is already growing. And she has, and I'll show you this in a second, there's a bunch of tiny little circles in here that look like little particles of light. They look almost like an orangey yellow. Can you see those in her hands? Those little tiny lights. So it feels like something is in the beginning stages. It's past like I said, it's past the seed. It's past the budding coming out. It's already now, it's starting to grow. Okay, so let's see. Where are we going from here, please? Where are we going from here? Okay. It's going to be interesting to see how these things unfold. It does feel like whatever is being birthed, whatever it is that is growing, it looks like it's something that's going to be quite beautiful in its energy. And you're getting that assurance that, you know, yes, it's working. Yes, you're on the right track. Yes, things are moving along. Even if you don't see it in your hand, like she has it in her hand. So even if you don't see it in some way, shape, or form, just have the assurance and know that it is making a difference. It's in that rebirthing process. And different people can be in different places in that rebirthing process. Okay, what else do we have? What else do you want to bring forward? Thank you. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. So again, what do we have on the bottom? We have Saint Germain, work your magic on the bottom of the deck. And he's got that Merkaba inside of that whole structure. And again, it's all lit up. We have the different points of circles. Okay. All right, we have, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Melchizedek, spiritual law of attraction. And we do have what looks like, here's, you know, a mountain in calm waters. And then on this side, we have lightning with waves. We have the darker clouds over cloudy sky over here, and it's clearing away over here. You know, it's like being mindful of what you are attracting, right? Because we can attract things that we don't want and not even realize that that's what we're doing. Okay. And then we have Pan, and this is about fertility. So whatever this is that you're working on, or that you're birthing, or that you will be going down, be assured that it is something that's very fertile. It is something that has the stability and the ability to grow and to blossom. And I'm hearing spread and expand. They're really still bringing out this being very mindful of how we speak, how we think, how we feel towards something, as this all plays a role in the quality of our energy plus the quality of the energy of whatever it is that we are creating. We have Paul the Venetian, I think that's how you say it. And it's artistic expression. Very nice. So I do feel that whatever it is that you're creating here, it is something that is either it is about you expressing yourself in your own artistic way, which, you know, can mean art literally, or it can just mean anything that you do, and, you know, it can be art, right? But I feel like it's about really allowing yourself to have that personal connection with whatever it is you're creating that is your way of expressing in a very artistic way. For some of you, it's about allowing yourself to express in an artistic way, and maybe expand what I'm hearing, like what your definition is of art. And for others, I feel like it's almost like there's this, it has to do with having confidence to express yourself in an artistic way, even if your artistic way wouldn't be looked at as artistic by others, but it really doesn't matter, because this is it's your baby, it's your thing, it's for you to create and how you see fit. Where are we going from here? Okay. This one is, I have to get the box, hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to show you all of these because these are all these, and they tend to be some of my go-to decks. So these are ones that I may be using. This particular deck is the Wisdom Oracle. This deck with the blue backgrounds here is the Energy Oracle. This deck is the Sacred Destiny deck. And this deck is the Enchanted Map deck. Okay. I realize that for some of you, you're like, why are you showing me that? But I do that because there's a lot of times when I watch readers and it's like, wow, I really love that deck, but you don't know what deck it is. They don't tell you what the deck is. And then you're stuck trying to search and find by some way of describing. And sometimes you're lucky and you can find what that deck was, and sometimes you're not. So it's just a courtesy thing I like to do for people who may be interested in one of the decks that I use. All right, so where are we going from here? What else would you like to tell us, share with us, express in this reading? Thank you. Buy the book. Let's get one more. Thank you. Chop wood. Okay, so that's interesting, in milk and honey on the bottom of the deck. So to me, these validate and confirm each other, that they're on the same page, so to speak. So by the book, this is when you're doing stuff step by step. There is a specific process, okay? And keep in mind this. The process that you use, it may be your process, which may be different than anybody else's process. And it doesn't mean that yours is wrong. It can be more about just take things one step at a time. Focus on the step you're on. Yes, it's important to have that big picture, and it's important to kind of go, okay, so here's tentatively, these are my milestone steps. And then you break it down even more. Okay, so this is the beginning. This is my first milestone. What are the steps I need to take to get to that first milestone? So, and that's what it can be by book, by the book. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's almost like a checkerboard pattern here on the card underneath the elephants. And notice the elephants, you know, they're holding, there's the checkerboard. Notice the elephants, they're holding their each other's tail of who's in front. This can be about doing things as a community. It can be about getting help and support. It can be about following the leader. Now, here's the thing. I would say for some of you, it's not about following the leader. It's about, again, doing it by the book, which is your book. And your book, the way you have it written, your story, your way of doing things may look very, very different than someone else's. And it can be for some of you that you're going to end up leading the way for a new way of doing something, right? That then will allow others to be able to follow that procedure or follow in your footsteps and create a new way of doing something. Chop wood. This is about taking care of the details, which again are those steps in between each milestone. You know, doing the work, making sure that everything's cleaned up, it's neat, it's tidy. And again, it can be somebody else's process. It can be somebody else's step by step if that's what works for you. And that's what you found something that's like, yeah, I really want to do it this way. This really works for me, you know, blah, blah, blah. For others of you, it's like, you know what, I just can't find anything out there that is going to let me do what I want to do in the way that feels aligned to me. So that's when you make your own. You make your own way, and you open a way for others to be able to find that. They're just saying, make sure you take care of your details. Make sure you take care of your details. Okay. Now, you may want to look up elephant energy, and then if you know, you may want to look up the names of these guys if you want to get more information about how they work. What is their, yes, Isis is rebirth, but there's more to it than just that one word. Not that you have to do that, but for some people, I know that you like to be able to look it up and get a bigger picture or a clearer, more honed in picture. And you can do that by looking up a few different sources of, of Isis, of Danu, of Pan, of Paul, of Venetian, of Melchizedek. And just read a few different sources and see what stands out to you, what grabs your attention. And then leave the rest, What else do we have? What else do we have? Oh. Okay. We have anxiety on the bottom of the deck. So maybe some of you are feeling anxious about this process. Finding a way to work through your anxiety instead of trying to stuff it down, which isn't going to help you, and it's just going to rear its ugly head again, and usually stronger and worse than what it was to begin with. But finding a way to work through your anxiety instead, acknowledging it, working through it, processing it, and letting it go, versus trying to stuff it down or holding on to it, or holding on to it. So we have deceit. We have strategy, which mimics this one with by the book, because there's the checkerboard. And what do we do when we are playing chess or checkers, or Chinese checkers or Parcheesi, whatever, you use a strategy, right? And it's a journal log. So keeping track of your journey can be useful and helpful, one, for yourself, did I do this? Did I do that? Oh, let me go check. Yep. Okay. That's done. And you know what? I really don't, I think I want to tweak that. You might be over here in your process now, but having that log in that journal helps you to go back and go, this part's not working, or I just don't like for how it's working. So you can go back and check and go, oh, you know what? I want to shift that. But if you're creating a whole new way, it's also very helpful when you're creating a new way of doing something, to be able to go back, and now you can go back and look and put it together. We have storm warning, and we have community. Well, clearly with deceit here, there's something here that, be aware. It's not moving in fear. Fear is a low vibing energy. It's not something we want, right? So I would say it's about having clean, clear energy and moving in a way that, is honorable with integrity. And I would say it is also about making sure that those around you are not being deceitful with you or towards you. This can also, though, be about lying to ourselves, right? We can lie to ourselves about stuff all the time and not be aware of it, or we can be aware of it and just do it anyways because, well, we just don't want to deal with whatever it is, right? Which isn't helpful. And I do feel like, again, if you continue on with your journey, so it's almost like you're doing this journey, right? And then there's somebody who's not going to like it. And a lot of times when somebody doesn't like it, it's their issue. It's not yours. It's not for you to take on. It's not for you to fix. That's their thing. That sounds like a you thing, not a me thing, right? Excuse me. So it really is about ensuring that you have your eyes wide open, that you are consciously aware of what's happening around you and who or what is in your environment. If you have gut feelings, listen to those feelings. And I would also say, because we have this here, when it comes to the strategizing, you may want to be very aware and monitoring what you share. Because if there is someone around you who is deceitful, or someone who, maybe even unconsciously doesn't want you to succeed, because they know that that means that the relationship, whatever that kind of relationship that is, it doesn't have to be romantic, would shift, and they might not want that, and they may unconsciously be trying to sabotage that in some way, or block you, or hold you back, or et cetera, et cetera. And this is where this can also be helpful, the journaling and the logging. With strategy, yes, but we can also then look back and go, oh, you know what? So-and-so, I've got it written here that they had said blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I didn't see it at the time, but you know what? That actually was so not helpful, because it really messed me up, you know. And it's not to judge them. It is to go with things with your eyes wide open and go, okay, again, that sounds like that's a them thing. That's not mine. So I don't need to do anything with that other than shift my direction. We do have storm warning here. And again, I feel like it's just, you're creating change, and change is sometimes very disruptive. Sometimes things can seem very chaotic. And you can be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This just isn't working. But it's like, you need to ride out that storm and stay focused, stay steady. And eventually it'll even out, and the chaos will becomes the calm, right? And you do have community available to you. So I would say, and with the community here, we've got one in red and two that are in two, well, one looks almost like a yellowish white, and then one in white. But the red can be talking about love, loving relationships. And because it's community, we're not talking about romantic love specifically, but I mean, it could be, but it's also just talking about having people around you who are in their own way on the same page. That doesn't mean that your journeys look exactly the same. It doesn't mean, you know, I can't talk to anybody if they don't do this or that, or if they're not like blah, blah, blah. It's just saying you have people of like mind. We do have a lot of apples in abundance. There's a lot of flowers. We have butterflies in here, which, you know, of course, talks about transitions and metamorphosis. You have pomegranates, which is about abundance. So I would say, you know, if you don't have your community yet, maybe you'll be looking for a new community. Maybe you'll find a community for yourself. But I do feel like you're on the right track. You're on the right track. It's just about being aware that when we're going through a journey, when we are creating change, things go up and down with a flow, right? They ebb and flow. Yeah, going on an ebb and flow journey. And here we have voyage, and it's two whales, a mother and a child, out of the water. And the waters are very calm. And there's actually like strings. I don't know if those will show up. There's like strings that attach this child to the mother. And this could be just talking about, again, community. It can be talking about knowing that you're safe. You know, you're in that safety net. You are being watched over. And things are okay. Things will turn out fine. And stillness. I mean, look at the beauty in that. There is beauty in stillness. And look at all of that sparkle and light up there. I feel like it's almost like all these different beings in the cosmos, the angels, the guides, the ascended masters, you know, everyone watching over you to ensure that safety, that support. I mean, you could also even just put it like this, to where you have in your stillness, right? Because the baby there is not doing them, is doing movement, but you know what I'm saying? It's like you're protected. We've got you, and just enjoy the stillness. Now in the stillness, there may seem like there's times where you can feel like things just aren't moving, and oh my goodness, can I attest to that? You can feel like things just aren't moving, and it can make you feel like, well, why am I even continuing to do this? Because clearly there's not a need, or there's no interest, or it's not successful, or whatever. And it could be just a matter of there's something that needs to be tweaked. What else do we have? Any other messages? Oh, okay. Yeah, illumination. Wow, okay. I'm trying to think of where... I don't know. I thought I had said something about it, but maybe not. So we have illumination. And I love this because this is about really having something come to light that can be very helpful. Something coming to light maybe in your strategy as you're logging and as you're taking care of things, you know, something's going to come to light, which is maybe why these details are important. And it's important about taking action. Like when you have that illumination and that new understanding and that aha moment, then take action on that. Right? Moving forward. And again, we have that water, the ebb and flow. And again, do you see, like, it's like take action, right? And we go from, you know, voyage, water, smooth. Stillness, obviously, still not moving around much. Illumination, the water is not moving. And then here we have action. And again, look at what again, it's that, right? It changes everything and it creates that ripple effect. And that's normal. They don't have to be bad just because they seem chaotic or uncomfortable in a moment. And then we have love. So again, maybe all of this helps you find your community. Right? And there we have love. And simplicity, keeping it simple. Things don't have to be super complicated to work and to be successful. Yeah, I think that that's a beautiful reading. And I feel like this is where I feel like this is where we're going to end off. So again, I hope you found this message helpful. Please don't forget to give that thumbs up, the like, the subscribe, the sharing, the notification bell. All these different steps do help the channel. They help us. They help us to help each other. Until next time, guys, bye.